I really changed my life by using those two things. Self-love and manifestation have played a big role in my life. So I feel like for me, I teach it in a unique way just because I've been through so much stuff and I've used these things to get through that.
The Podcast Empire, podcast mastery for women in business.
Welcome to the Podcast Empire. We have brought in a special guest for you today to deliver the value. And Erica Krystine is a self-love and relationship coach, a best-selling author, mum of two beautiful boys. And she is all about manifestation, self-love, and healing after heartbreak. Welcome to the Podcast Empire, Erica. It is great to have an expert like you speaking into our future podcasters about all things manifestation, self-love. Where did your journey start with that? Because you are a sought-after expert in your field.
First of all, thank you for having me. Well, my journey started in 2019 when I found a spiritual coach online. And when I met her, I was going through a lot of bad stuff in my life. I was depressed. I was a little crazy. I had anxiety, anger issues, all the above. I'm not going to name the whole list, but I had a lot of issues. And when I found this spiritual life coach, she literally changed my life in so many ways. And because of her, that's why I'm doing what I do. But it was because of my toxic relationships that really made me want to heal. I was so hurt and angry at the men that I was dating, and I wanted to start new. I wanted to start fresh. I didn't want to date these type of men anymore. I wanted to be happy and confident. And I used to be confident, when I was younger, and then that toxic relationship, like the back-to-back toxic relationships, they really break you down. So healing after heartbreak became a really big thing for me, and now I want to teach that to other women.
It's a great space to be in, and to be able to learn from your lived experiences. You've gone and sought out the knowledge, you've invested in the learning, you've gone through the process. So now you're paving the way for other women to actually make changes in their lives as well. Now, we hear the words manifestation and self-love so often. What makes you unique in your space?
I feel like what makes me unique, even though that's such a popular, both of those are both popular topics. I'm unique in that I really embody both of those. I really experience those. I've gone through the fire, as they would say, and I really changed my life by using those two things. Self-love and manifestation have played a big role in my life. So I feel like for me, I teach it in a unique way just because I've been through so much stuff and I've used these things to get through that.
Yep. So there's the knowledge, the resources, the tools, the strategy, and the lived experience all rolled up in a beautiful box with a big bow on top, Erica, that you're delivering to everybody within that space. So being so unique in your space with the resources and the tools, if you are a woman in business who is thinking of launching a podcast or is a seasoned podcaster, maybe looking at rebranding or maybe feeling a little bit stuck with the techniques that you teach around manifesting and self-love, how would that help a woman in business who has a podcast?
Well, I would have to say that self-love helps a lot because when you put yourself first, you're going to really build that confidence within you. That's what helped me. I did have a podcast a long time ago with one of my friends. And at first, I was terrified of being on camera, and learning self-love and learning that confidence and believing in yourself, that really helped me to make the podcast really good. Also, when it comes to manifestation, it's all about what you feel, what you think, and what you believe, right? So, someone starting a podcast, or you already have a podcast and you want it to be better, I would just say definitely focus on believing in yourself a lot more, learning how to tell yourself that you are the best, you are the expert in whatever it is that you're teaching, what you're going to be talking about in the podcast. That will make a huge difference. It's all about your thoughts. I'm big on law of attraction, which is basically manifestation. And what that is what you think, what you believe, what you feel is what you're going to attract. So if you believe in yourself, you believe in the podcast, you just go up there and you be authentic on this podcast, you're definitely going to attract the clients and the listeners that you want for your show.
That's a great example of what we can actually do to envision, to gain clarity, to make sure that we're calling the universe and saying, hey, this is what I want and this is how I want it. Can you give us maybe 3 tips around what it takes to manifest something into your life? Where would you start if you're new to this?
The first tip I would say if you're starting on a manifestation journey or a spiritual journey in general, healing, I would say hire a coach in that field. Hire a coach such as myself who does relationships and self-love. If you want to do that kind of thing, if you're trying to just manifest, definitely hire someone in the manifestation field. Also, second tip, I would say get clear on what you really want because a part of manifestation is really knowing in detail what it is that you want to attract into your life, right? It's not just like, I want a car, I want a house, I want a man. You have to get really clear on exactly what you want. So if you want a certain type of client or a certain type of listeners, you can write down in detail what you want them to be like. You want a certain type of partner, write out detailed, envision that person. How do they make you feel? How do they look? How do you feel when you have them around you? And I would say, other than getting clear, the last tip I would say definitely know your worth. Know your worth when it comes to everything, when it comes to business, you have to know your worth in your prices. You have to know your worth in what you want to sell. You have to know your worth in relationships, how you want to be treated by those people, friends, family, etc. So those would be the 3 things I would really tell someone to focus on.
Now, I'm a huge believer, like yourself, in the law of attraction and attracting what we want into our lives. And that has been very beneficial for me. And correct me if I'm wrong, because you're the expert here, but somebody a long time ago said, like you have to smell it, you have to feel it, you have to live it. Now, there's a difference between our conscious and our subconscious in manifestation as well. Could you let us know a little bit about that?
Yes. That is true. What you heard is true. You do have to really feel into it. You have to smell it. You have to really embody it. Something one of my mentors actually taught me was to be that person now, right? So living that life, smelling it. So for example, when you use the word like smelling it, right? So if you want to manifest a house on the beach, go look at houses on the beach for sale. I actually did that the other day because I'm trying to manifest like a really nice apartment with a nice view. So me and my mom went on the beach and they had an open house and we went in there. It was like $1 million apartment. But I was like, hey, I'm going to envision myself in this place. So you definitely have to do that. I went there, I went on the balcony and I smelt the ocean and I'm like, okay, this is what it feels like to have this, and I'm gonna have this one day. So when I went home, I meditated, I put on some meditation music, and I just envisioned myself there. And like you said, I smelled the ocean water, I felt the breeze. You have to think about all these things. So that's definitely something that you have to do when you're trying to manifest.
Now, is it true that our subconscious doesn't know the difference between reality and non reality? So we hear sayings like dress for success. We hear sayings like envision and manifesting and be the person, like you just mentioned, that you want to be. Live like your person that you want to be. So with our subconscious not knowing the difference between reality and non-reality, would you recommend that you show up like the person you want to be? Don't say affirmations and sayings like I want, you say I am. Is that helpful as well?
Yes, that's actually something that I do every single day. I have a manifestation journal and I write out I am affirmations. I've been doing that since I started my spiritual journey. And literally, it's so funny because I found a journal from 2019 when I first started, and I wrote in there, I am a relationship coach. I wrote I'm a #1 best-selling author, all the things. And it's crazy because a few years later, I actually manifested them. I remember telling people I was a relationship coach, like just randomly, joking before I became one. So speaking those things into existence, it's a real thing. So yes, as far as your subconscious not knowing the difference, I definitely believe that. Because to someone having, like let's say $50,000 could feel like $1 million to them, right? So but even like having $100 could also feel like a lot. It's the feeling you get. So yes, your mind doesn't know the difference as far as like if you just say I want to manifest money, it's going to manifest what makes you feel good, right? Like whatever makes you feel good, that's what's going to come to you. It doesn't know good or bad. It's like, what do you want? If you're talking about it and you're focusing on it, that's what you're going to attract.
Absolutely. And we get to keep what we speak as well, don't we? Do you
Yeah.
believe that with the power of the law of attraction and the power of the universe, we speak it into its truth? So
Yes.
we have to show up, love ourselves, manifest, get clarity, envision it, and that will help us get closer to our goals and the success that we want, whatever that looks like for us in our lives as well. Now, you are a best-selling author, you're a relationship and self-love coach. What would be 2 top tips about self-love? Where would you start if you've maybe been through a difficult relationship, because you're all about healing after heartbreak and you're feeling a bit down on yourself, you're lacking a bit of confidence, you probably don't know who you are or where to turn? What would be 2 top tips about self-love? Where would you start?
I would definitely say the first thing is, I said it earlier, but this applies to this as well, is getting clear on what you want. If you don't truly know what you want, you can't really manifest it because you're not sure. I had a friend, she was going through a divorce, and I said, "What do you want? Like, what type of man do you want?" She said, "I don't know." You can't attract something you don't know that you want, you know? So getting clear on what you want out of your life when it comes to love and relationships is so important. So when it comes to self-love in that area, I would say you have to really focus on yourself, making sure that your mental health is straight, forget the love and relationships, right? This is one thing I preach. It's not about attracting the partner at first. When you're doing the self-love work, it's the first step to attracting the love, right? So when you love yourself first, that's the most important relationship. When you love yourself first, you're going to attract someone who loves you. When you lack self-love, that's when you attract people who don't love you, and that's when you end up in relationships that are not good for you, right? So that would be my first tip, is to just get clear on what you want and then fully focus on healing yourself by doing what you need for your mental health, focusing maybe on your business, focusing on your family. And then I promise you, ladies, you're going to attract that man because you're becoming that version of yourself that you know you want, and the man will follow. The second tip would be to change your mindset. Loving yourself is not just putting yourself first in spa days and massages and facials. It's about really changing what you believe about yourself, right? Loving yourself no matter what, knowing that even though your past relationships didn't work out and these men maybe left you or hurt you, you have to believe that you are good enough and you deserve love and you will get that love. I see so many women, they can't attract good men for the simple fact that they don't believe good men exist. So mindset, changing your mindset is the second tip on, when you're starting your self-love journey, because it's so important. And if you don't have that mindset where you believe that you are going to find love, it can't happen, right? You're going to keep attracting people that are opposite of what you truly want. So those are
That
my
is some
tips.
great advice, some great advice indeed. So, if you're a woman in business and you're looking to launch a profitable podcast, you're purpose driven, there's maybe a few things that you're feeling stuck on, please connect with Erica. Her details are in the show notes below. And what kind of message would you like to leave our women in business podcasters on today, Erica?
The message I want to leave them is just know that anything is possible. Like I said, when you change your mindset, when you put yourself first and you love on you and you become the best version of you first, that is when everything else is going to fall into place.
Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you in the pod.
The Podcats Empire, podcast mastery for women in business.